Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do a trailer breakdown for Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, which just released its first trailer yesterday. Now, the thing with this trailer is that Nightmare Alley has been something that I think it's been talked about for a number of years. It's been kind of off and on because del Toro's been doing a lot of various projects, but he's finally gotten back around to this. And this was, honestly, this was an amazing trailer. I really did enjoy this trailer. It doesn't give away too much. It barely gives away anything, actually, which I think is great for a trailer, especially a trailer that is able to hook you kind of like this one is, because it makes you ask a lot of questions. But I'm just going to kind of dive into this, and we're going to go through the basics of it, because basically the whole trailer doesn't have any dialogue except for a voiceover by Willem Dafoe. And the main characters in this are Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe, and Rooney Mara. And it all has to kind of do with this circus, or at least everything seems to go with this circus. It actually reminds me a lot tonally of, if anybody remembers, I think it was an HBO show. It was called Carnival. It had Clancy Brown in it and a few other people, notable people. But it feels a lot, maybe it's just the Carney feel, but it feels a lot like that. And I actually really enjoyed the way that the trailer kind of felt. It feels almost like a fairy tale. And that's something that del Toro is very, very good at doing. We've seen him do it with many films in the past. Hellboy, Devil's Backbone was more of a supernatural thing, but Pan's Labyrinth definitely. And some other films that he's made as well. And this works because it's kind of the visuals and stuff that they show you in the trailer kind of make you, along with the music, makes it seem like it's almost like a dream state, like it's not real, like we're seeing inside of a character's mind. But I'm going a little bit too deep into this right now. But let's just go through the trailer. And see what we see. Now we open up and we see Bradley Cooper, and he looks like he's on some sort of a bus, and he's getting dropped off at what looks like a carnival, and we do see a Ferris wheel and stuff like that, traditional carnival stuff. And that's also when Willem Dafoe's voiceover starts. And Willem Dafoe is he's describing, if anybody remembers kind of in a lot of old-timey carnival movies, or even nowadays, I don't know if they still have this, but the hype man, the guy that gets up in front of the crowd and says, "Oh, come and look at this attraction. It's the bearded lady or the Cyclops or Siamese twins, whatever. Kind of a P.T. Barnum type of thing." And he's getting up and he's telling these people about this great beast that they're going to be able to see in just a few moments, and what's behind the curtain, and about it feeding and all that stuff. And is it a man? Is it a beast? And while he's doing this entire dialogue, again, the dialogue itself lasts almost the entire trailer. And when we're doing this, we're also seeing all these shots of Bradley Cooper, who is our main character. And it's really interesting because it feels like he's talking about Bradley Cooper, but the imagery that we're seeing really doesn't have a whole lot to do with what he's actually saying. He's just kind of saying that he's sort of a beast. He's something that he looks like a man, but he's not. And I don't know if they're going for maybe like a supernatural type of thing, or if maybe they're just, it's a metaphorical thing, like, he's kind of just, he's a dirtbag or something. We see him meeting with Cate Blanchett a couple of times and a few of the little interludes. And we also see some stuff with Rooney Mara as well, which makes it seem like those two are in some kind of a relationship. Ron Perlman is also in this too, because it's a del Toro movie, so Ron Perlman probably just got a role because whatever. Hopefully he didn't pee on anybody. But looking at all the stuff that actually does happen in the trailer is extremely disjointed past like the first 30 seconds or so. The first 30 seconds or so, we get introduced to the carnival. We see Bradley Cooper. We see a couple of the main characters. We see Willem Dafoe. And then it just goes into this quick cut of a bunch of these different images. And there's a lot of different stuff that's going on. And there's a scene where it looks like Bradley Cooper has an injured shoulder. He's been shot maybe. And he's running through what looks like maybe a bank or a government building or something like that. Something with like large marble walls. And as he's running by one of the walls, he puts his hand to it. And you see that he left a bloody handprint. And that is kind of interesting to see, because that feels like it's kind of disjointed from a lot of the rest of it. I mean, most of it is, at least after that point. But we see that. We see a scene of what looks like Rooney Mara being electrocuted, which seems like she's kind of like a sideshow kind of thing, where oh, she can be electrocuted in the electric chair and she won't die or something like that. That's what that kind of feels like a little bit, or that may be like a stunt that went wrong or something at a point during the movie. We see a section where it looks like Bradley Cooper is running through this alleyway, kind of haphazardly and like stumbling over himself. Maybe he's injured, maybe he's drunk or something. We also see a guy that looks like he gets hit by a car, and I couldn't really tell who that was. It wasn't Bradley Cooper. And a whole bunch of other little mingled in scenes that are in there. There's a scene at the end of the trailer as well that's kind of interesting, where it's Bradley Cooper and he's sitting in this chair in this either a house or an apartment, and the entire building is going up in flames around him as he's just kind of sitting in this chair and just like not moving and just kind of like laying back and relaxing while the entire building around him is being engulfed in flames. There's another scene too where apparently he's going inside one of the carnival attractions, and it's kind of like this like kaleidoscope tunnel thing with like a chamber at the end of it. There's a lot of very trippy imagery with this, and again, it leads me to kind of feel like this is kind of a fairy tale type of tone. The music of the trailer also kind of goes along with that as well, where a lot of the music feels like it's something almost out of like a nursery rhyme, like it feels like Itsy Bitsy Spider, something like that, where it's very calculated in the notes that it plays, but it feels also almost like childlike or dreamlike when you actually see it put to these images. So that also leads me to believe that he's going to be skirting that line again. The other thing is too, this movie's coming out in December. And the thing is that this looks to me like Del Toro and the studio are pushing this for Oscars, which wouldn't surprise me. You have a lot of very good cast members in this. Like I said, I mentioned Bradley Cooper, who I believe has won a couple of Oscars now. Cate Blanchett, who I think has also won one, and Willem Dafoe, who I'm pretty sure has been nominated if he hasn't won one. I could be wrong about that, but you have a very star-studded cast, and Rooney Mara too. I almost forgot about her. But you have a very star-studded cast, and you have Del Toro, who won Oscars for Shape of Water. So I think that they're going to be doing a hard Oscar push for this, but this is one of those movies that actually is getting pushed for an Oscar and doesn't look like it's something that's just trying to pander to the social norms of the time, I guess is maybe how you would put it. It doesn't look like a movie that's just kind of pandering to the Academy and hitting the right notes and stuff like that. It feels like a movie that was made because Del Toro wanted to tell a story, and that's really what an Oscar-winning movie should be. It should be a really good story that a great director wanted to tell. And in past years, we've gotten that sometimes, but not all the time. And I would be very, very excited to see if this movie is good enough and does get nominated. I think it'll probably get nominated regardless of what it does at the box office. But it is going to be premiering in December, which means I assume it's going to be something like a Christmas release. But again, this is a movie that I'm assuming is also not necessarily going to be going for competition with a lot of big blockbuster films. This doesn't look like a movie that has a $200 million budget. I would hope not anyway. So I'm very interested to see how this winds up doing. I'm very interested in the movie itself because the trailer, again, does not really give away any story beats outside of like the initial introductions of Bradley Cooper and some of the characters. And even when it does tell you something or anything, it's kind of disjointed and out of order, so you can't really tell where in the story it's going to take place. Which, again, great for a trailer to do. This is one of those things that this trailer is near perfect in the way that it executes itself. Because you can't have a trailer that tells the whole story, because then you just ruin the movie. Like, a lot of trailers do that these days, where they'll give away a large portion of the plot in the trailer instead of just giving people images and stuff that they can latch onto, and then you're like, oh, well, I wonder how that's going to happen in this, and that's like, no. Some of the trailers are just like, this is the story, come and watch it. Which, yeah, not the best idea to go with that. But whoever cut together this trailer, which I assume was Del Toro, great job. As usual, I'm going to list the trailer in the description below in case you guys want to watch it. I recommend you do because this is actually a really good trailer. And like I said, it doesn't give away a lot of story beats. But I want to know what you think. Are you excited for Nightmare Alley? Are you not? Are you a fan of Del Toro? Are you not? Do you like the cast or the premise or anything about the movie? Put your thoughts in the comments below as usual. I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?